Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. We made it to the end of 30 days of running every single day. Day 30. I don't want to stop. First thing that comes to mind when I think about how I'm feeling, what words come, what words, what pictures, what comes to mind when I think about this 30-day challenge, this 30-day journey that we've been on. First is progression. Second is surprise at just how far I have progressed. The third is mindset and the importance of mindset with whatever you're doing in life, I assume, but certainly when it comes to running, certainly when it comes to attempting to push yourself in a particular run on a particular day faster, further, harder than you ever have before, because that really does come down to mindset. I mean, physically, regardless of mindset, the body is capable of so much, but the thing that gets you over the edge, the thing that gets you over the line is what's between the ears. It's mindset. And I don't want to stop this. I'm going to continue this. I am going to continue to try and get fitter, or at least maintain the fitness that I have accrued over the last 30 days, because I have. I simply have. I mean, there's no two ways about it. My first run during this 30-day challenge was a 7-kilometer run. I was averaging 6 minutes 20 seconds per kilometer. And, I just ran a 10K a couple of days ago, averaging 5 minutes and 4 seconds per kilometer. So not only did I run 3Ks further, but I also did it in over a minute less per K. Now that's amazing. I never thought I could do that. Because running a 10K in averaging 5 minutes and 6 seconds per K got me over the finish line in 50 minutes and 59 seconds. And that is actually an all-time PB. It's not just during this 30 days. That is an all-time PB. So, it's been a struggle at times, I'm not going to lie. My legs have felt heavy many mornings, but once again, it all comes down to mindset. So I'm going to run through a few statistics with you prior to my final run, because I feel like that could be useful, and also it's going to allow me to actually put some numbers on my 30 days of running, 30-day progression. So currently, as we stand on day 30, I have run a total of 163 kilometers over 30 total runs in a time of 15 hours and 26 minutes. That brings my all-time runs, for anyone wondering, to 132, covering a total distance, now this is over the last 5 years, of 954 kilometers. So, an additional 46 Ks, and I've covered, in the last 5 years, 1,000 kilometers of running. But during this last 30 days, 163 Ks, we've got 37 more Ks to go, almost a marathon if I wanted to have any chance of reaching that elusive 200 kilometer mark, which is what I was aiming for. I found myself with a chance of doing it, but at the end of the day, there were just too many days where I only ran 5Ks when maybe I had a plan of running upwards of 10, if not more. There were a few days where I did just stop at 5, and did I let myself down? Well, that's up to you. Sitting here 30 days in, having run 163 total Ks when the 3 months beforehand I pretty much hadn't run any, is a real success. So those are the total Ks. I reckon I'll probably do 5 to 10 Ks today. It might bring it above 170 Ks, but I will check in after the run today. But I did want to just look at some stats from a couple of particular runs, okay? So let's go to activities, and let's go right back to day 1. Right back to day 1. Well, actually, no. Let's talk about weekly statistics. Let's talk about total Ks per week. So, this transformation, this challenge has crossed 4 different weeks, well, 5 in fact. The first week was just 7 kilometers because it was the first run. Effectively, the first run, the 7K run, I'm pretty sure was on a Sunday. So what that meant is that on that next Monday, the next day, it began a new week. So effectively, this series, this 30 days, will span over 6 weeks. The first of which included 1 run. The last of which is today, includes just the 1 run. So the first week and the first run was 7Ks. The second full week of 7 days, I covered 41.3 kilometers. The third week, a full 7 days, I covered 40.2 kilometers. The fourth week, a full 7 days, I covered 36.4 Ks. And the fourth week, which has just concluded, I covered 37.9 Ks. So it has been pretty consistent. But I did go out like a bat out of hell. I mean, 7 Ks on the first day, 9 Ks on the second day. I thought I'd be trending up the whole entire way, but it just didn't happen like that. So, 41, 40, 36, and 37.9 is, well actually no, 41.3, 40.2, 36.4, and 37.9, and whatever I do today. So that's the weekly totals. Now let's look at activities. Now let's look at progression over the distance of 5Ks and 10Ks, and let's just look, at how I've improved, because the numbers say it all, right? I started this series knowing that the analytics, the stats, were going to form a really, really important part of this. For me, to hold myself accountable, to push for PBs and what have you, but also to have some proof, to have some backup to what I'm saying. So on the first day I was averaging 6 minutes 17 per K over a 7K distance. The second day I sort of thought, alright, I'm going to pick it up a wee bit. I averaged 6 minutes per K over a 9 kilometer distance. So even in the first couple of days, I realized that mindset was going to be important. I realized that progression was possible, and never did I imagine in a million years that I'd be running relatively comfortably at a pace of almost a minute per K faster, which is unbelievable. So anyway, my first actual 5K distance, I did it in 28 minutes and 30 seconds. So that was my first 5K, 5:42 per K. That was on day 3. 28 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, I did another 5K, 29 minutes and 7 seconds. Another 5K, 28 minutes. So that was the first time I'd cracked that 28 minute mark. That's averaging 5:36 per K. Another 5K, 26 minutes and 32 seconds. So that was day 9. After a rest day, I gave myself my first rest day, which was on day 8. On day 9, I came back and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to smash this. I'm going to go as fast as possible. And I ran at a 5 minute, 18 second per K pace, finishing the 5Ks in 26 minutes and 32 seconds. The next day, day 10, I went back out. I wanted to eclipse that. I wanted to progress, but I didn't. I ran it in 28 minutes. So there was a mental barrier there. There was a real mental barrier for me to come down anywhere close to that 25 minute mark for the 5K. And I had that barrier. And I wrestled with that barrier for days and days and days until eventually I said to myself, you know what? Shut the fuck up, stop being a little bitch, and get it done. And so that was day 10. We continued until I did finally, and I was getting closer, I ran a 26 minute 5K, averaging 5:12 per K. That was on day 20. And then finally, on day 23, I ran a 5 kilometer distance in 24 minutes and 25 seconds, averaging 4 minutes 53 per K, which was the first time that I'd run under 25 minutes during this transformation. It's the first time I'd done it in over 2 years. I had done it before. I'd actually got under 24 minutes. Did I think that was possible? Did I think that an all-time PB was possible at all during this challenge? No, not really. No. I knew that at some point I was going to push for it, but I didn't know whether I was actually going to do it. But lo and behold, 5 days later, I entered my first 5K fun run here in Alice Springs. And I ran a total of 4.95 kilometers, that's 50 meters less than 5Ks. Kind of kicked myself for not running through and finishing it, but it was 4.95 Ks in 23 minutes and 21 seconds, averaging 4 minutes and 43 seconds per K. So to go from a time of 30 minutes for the 5K, to get it down to around 23 and a half, that's 6.5 minutes off of my original time, and that happened within 28 days. Now that's a 5K. Let's look at 10. When was my first 10K during this challenge? I feel like it took me a while to get that 10Ks under the belt, but I did it for the first time on day 6, and I averaged 6 minutes 14 per K, which had my total time over 10Ks of 1 hour and 2 minutes and 32 seconds. So just think about that, an hour and 2 minutes, over an hour, over 6 minutes per K on day 6. The next time I did 10Ks was on day 12, so another 6 days in, and I was able to finally get my total time under the hour mark. So we finished in 59 minutes, 41 seconds, with an average pace of 5:58. And I tell you what, I felt extremely accomplished. I was like, you know what, I've done another 10K, I've taken some time off, and I finally got under an hour. That was a big goal throughout this challenge. I didn't know where my pace was going to be at the end of it, but to be on day 12, having covered 10Ks in under an hour, I was stoked. But listen to this. Listen to this. My next 10K my next 10K came on day 18. This time I finished it in a time of 57 minutes and 19 seconds. So, you know, we're trending in the right direction, averaging 5:43 per K. That was on day 18. And as I scroll through here and I look at yesterday's video, day 29, another 11 days in, 11 days of running, 11 days of consistency, 11 days of accountability, and 11 days of progression, I found myself covering 10Ks in a time of 50 minutes and 59 seconds with an average pace of 5 minutes and 6 seconds per K, which is an all-time PB. An all-time PB. My PB for the 10K prior to that was 52 minutes and 10 seconds. So I took, that's an all-time, that's like 3 years ago when I was 10 kilos lighter. I was a hell of a lot fitter, a hell of a lot, more motivated in general, and I was loving life. I could bounce around. I felt like I could do absolutely anything. I was probably about 90 to 91 kg, and I just finished a bodybuilding show, so I was in peak physical condition, and I felt like I could do anything. But that's where it comes back to mindset. I couldn't do anything, but I felt like I could. So that's where it got me. And this run yesterday is my most impressive yet. It all comes down to mindset. It comes down to telling myself I'm not a little bitch anymore. I can do this. And so on the 29th day of this 30-day challenge, 50 minutes and 59 seconds, averaging 5 minutes and 6 seconds per K, bringing our total to 163 Ks, and shaving 12 minutes off of my original 10K time. 12 minutes. I shaved 6 minutes off my 5K time, and I shaved 12 minutes off of my 10K time. And I sit before you right here, right now, really excited to complete my 30th run, my 30th day. I have taken a couple of days off, I admit, but they were needed at the time. I don't think that actually running every single day for 30 days is good for you. I feel like you definitely do need to bring in some rest. I definitely feel like you're going to need to bring in some recovery, some targeted recovery, some stretching, and unfortunately I just simply haven't done that. So I can only imagine how much better, how much faster I could go if I did bring all of that in. But these 30 days was just to get my ass into gear, to fucking get myself off the couch, out the door, and back into the swing of things, and that's exactly what it's done. So I'm going to be back here post-run, day 30 to discuss a few things. We have gone through some stats, but I'll go through some more, physical, emotional, and mental changes that I've experienced throughout the last 30 days. Because there's been some. So, see you back here soon.
Right, folks, it is actually a couple of days on. So that would make today day 32. I'm not running today. I've just gone in and smashed a really heavy, hard weight session. I feel extremely accomplished. I've got 2% battery left. I just wanted to say that I hadn't, I just wanted to check in and say, look, making videos has been a huge part of my life, especially for the last 5 years and especially for the last 30 days. So I need a break. I need some time to sit back and think about what's next as far as this YouTube channel. And also what I'm going to do, and this will be the final thing that I say, this is the final message. We hit 2 PBs. I still can't believe it. I don't know how I'm going to better that. That's the thing. You've got to continue to better it, right? But that takes training. And that takes consistency. And so I'm going to work on that. And with that being said, I am going to enter officially my very first ultra marathon, which is being held on the weekend of the 22nd of May this year. So stay tuned for that. I'll bring content around that to my main channel as well. It's under my real name. My alias is It's Okay to Talk, but my real name, for anyone interested, is Jacob McDonald. So look me up on YouTube and, well, I'll see you there. I might see you here, might see you there, who knows? But I am going to be entering officially my very first ultra marathon. It's going to be 65 kilometers and it's going to have, I believe, almost 2,000 meters of elevation, of total elevation. So, a realistic, really, really good time for me to aim for a 65 kilometer trail run along the Larapinta Trail here in Central Australia would be 10 hours. So at the moment, I'm about 14 weeks away. We're 14 and a half weeks away at this point. 10 hours is the goal. I'm going to work towards that. I'm going to get some sort of plan in place, some sort of training plan in place, and I will be bringing content to the channel around that. So I wouldn't be doing that if I hadn't have done this 30-day challenge. And it's benefited me in so many ways, not least of which inspiring me to, like I said, enter my first ultra marathon. I enjoy running now. I enjoy running outside a hell of a lot more than running on the treadmill. I probably ran on the treadmill just a bit too much, but with the weather as hot as it is here, it was just a necessity. So by all means, guys, put those shoes on, get them by the door, before work, after work, at work. Get running. You never know where it might take you. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you soon.